Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever you are. Welcome to John's Kitchen, Orgasmic Conscious Cooking, being John Ashford. Be the interrupt of this reality. I'm feeling good. It's Saturday morning. It's a different day. Usually it's Tuesday nights. We had to change some stuff. We're doing this Saturday. If this works, maybe me and Derek can figure out some stuff. Tuesdays and Saturdays alternate for people. Uh, I'm about to do something for you guys. I found this recipe, and it was called Amaretti Cookies. I'm on the internet and I belong to a lot of different cooking platforms. And let me tell you a story. I can't eat anymore. I can't eat anymore. Can't talk even this morning. I didn't even have the drinks, huh, Derek? Anyway, uh, I can't eat any wheat. I'm allergic to wheat. When I eat wheat, my throat starts to uh, it's like when people eat nuts, like my throat starts to become inflamed and swell, and it swells, and it means less air can it's constricted. So I'm changing my diet 100%. I'm gluten free. Little did I know that these cookies, the Amaretti cookies, I call them Johnny's almond dunkers now because I made a couple of changes to it, actually have been gluten free. There's a store that's nationally known in the United States called Whole Foods. My wife and I, when they first moved out here, we went there and they had this bakery, beautiful bakery. And they had these little crescent cookies. And little did I know that these were the cookies. I could never find the recipe any place. And I was like, they were like full of almond. And I was like, oh my God, this is my almond's one of my favorite flavors. And I said, what is that? What I did not know, hello, Mr. Trader Joe's, if you want to sponsor me one day, I'll definitely take it. It's made out of 100%, wrong camera, sorry, there, 100% almond flour, no wheat. So I was like, oh my fucking God, I have some cookies that I can eat now that I'm on this new way of eating that I've always desired. So remember I told you, and I haven't done that every week, and I'm starting really focusing on that every uh, week that I do this show. I want to give you a tool of consciousness. That's what I'm going to call it, consciousness cooking. What else is possible is a question that you can ask. When I started eating differently, I started asking the question, what else is possible? Because, I cook, my mom cooked with flour. And the first thing I found was this wonderful Pamela's alternative flour for waffles. And I was like, oh my God, I can eat waffles. More protein. I wasn't shaky because it's pretty much almond flour and other flours blended together to create this wonderful waffle. But then out of the blue, I found this pie crust that's gluten free and it's with butter. And I was like, oh my God, it really tastes good. So what I'm saying is that when you ask a question about what else is possible, the universe will actually bring you things. And when I say universe, y'all, sometimes I use universe to be universal because one of the things going on in our planet right now is a lot of separation. I could say God, but then it's offensive to somebody. And it's not like I'm trying to please the world, but one of the things I'm more aware of is really trying to bring people together. So I say universal, universal God, whatever. A great influencer of mine, Dick Gregory, said he believed in the universal God, and I adopted that. So I call it universe. Hope you guys are following me with that. So anyway, getting back to the cooking part, the consciousness is that even with your body, ask what else is possible when you think something's about to fall apart, because the universe got your back. And what else is possible with that? I keep on asking, and I'm going to get a little not political because I know people like sometimes don't want to hear the political shit. But one of the things that's going on the planet right now is this separation. And every molecule of my body is picking up this separation. And so I decided a long time ago that I was picking up the separation that's been on for a while, that I was going to create this platform to cook and bring people together because food usually does that. What else is possible? Now back to the recipe. That's my message for the day. So, John's almond dunkers. Wonderful. So this is how what this looks like. You have 3 cups The other camera's coming soon. Of almond flour. You have 3/4 cups of sugar. I use raw sugar because it looks a little brown. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour that in there. Set that to the side. Now, salt. A story with salt. Everything in my kitchen probably has some history. So let me so I don't mess this up. So 3/4 cups of sugar, a half a teaspoon of salt. Now I use a full teaspoon and I measure it down like this. So I'll show you guys what it looks like. Hopefully you guys can see that without me spilling it. That goes in there. I guess I'm kind of early because I don't have people asking me questions today. Anybody out there? I seen Kathy out there. Kathy will be out there in New Mexico in about 2 weeks, I believe. 3 weeks is it? I think it's 2 weeks. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing this mixture together. Okay. So the sugar, the almonds, and the salt all mixed together, ready to go. Okay. So I tried this recipe earlier. Let's move this out the way. So this flour, I don't need that. Okay. So, but wait, let me talk about this flour. Okay. So this flour has 7 grams of protein. Okay. Where white flour, and here's the other piece. I'm glad I picked it back. So this small bag, which is 16 ounces, 1 pound bag, is $7, 6.50 or 6.58, 6.50 for the bag of flour. And check this out. You pay half that price for really decent flour for 5 pounds. So the story back to this cookie is that each one of those cookies when we were going to Whole Foods was $4. But I get it because the amount of cookies that this recipe yields is probably about not quite 24. So I get it. How come they were so much expensive? But that flour, what's up, Gino? I like sea salt. Is that okay? Yeah, sea salt is wonderful, man. Sea salt has more minerals coming out of the ocean than salt that's pulled out of the earth. They're both minerals. Not really not minerals, but well, yeah, I'm gonna just call it for this so mineral. So sea salt, and there's a lot of different sea salt. I wouldn't use any seasoned sea salt because they have smoked salt. I guess it would give a different flavor. But like Himalayan salt, I have that. It's a pink salt that you see in the store. You can use that. Any salt. Salt is a leavening uh, principle in this cookie. Okay. That's for the flour. The eggs. Okay. It takes 2 eggs, room temperature. Now, let's say 2 large egg whites, right? I'm going to show you how I separate the eggs because it's really important that you don't get any yellow in there when you're beating the whites of the eggs because it sometimes doesn't allow the eggs to expand. Excuse me. The eggs should be room temperature. So you want to leave the eggs out overnight. But let's say you come home and you're like, oh, I need to make this. I forgot to take the eggs out. Let me show you this knockoff. Take some boiling water, put it in a bowl, put the 2 eggs in the hot water for about minute and a half, 2 minutes. It will get the eggs to room temperature without cooking them because the reason that you want that is that once the egg whites are room temperature, they expand greater. Okay. Little knockoff my mom taught me a long time about when I was in the kitchen with her. Okay, so on to the eggs. Did I get everything in there? Okay, yes. So, and I'm gonna show you this. So here are those organic eggs. I know, yes. Okay, Gino. So I want you guys. I know Gino said damn camera. Okay, can you guys see those eggs? Okay, organic eggs. Can you see that with me out? While I'm dropping them. Okay, organic eggs have a orange hue to the egg yolk. Okay. They go anywhere from $8 to $6 a carton for 12 eggs, a dozen eggs, right? The flavor of the organic egg, my son came back and told me once before because he moved into this new apartment and his roommate went and bought some eggs and they weren't organic. They were like 89 cents. And he was like, yuck, lots of water when you fry them. Organic eggs taste better. A lot of places out here where we live, my neighbors have chickens and the eggs aren't always brown. They're green. They're spotted. They're organic eggs. The colors are different. The flavor is more enhanced. Hence, you might want to eat organic eggs. But you might say, well, John, what are you going to do with this yolk? Gotcha. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to take the yolk, some lemon juice, some butter, and I'm going to make holiday sauce. I guess I'll show you that. I might record that when I do that portion so that I can put this on because Derek told me that we can record stuff and put things out now on Streamline. So we're going to start doing that. But you don't have to worry about wasting the egg yolks because somebody said, oh my God, you got 4 egg yolks at $8 a carton. That's a lot of money to throw out. Never have to throw anything out. If you're an artist, you could actually use the egg yolks and create paint. That's what they did in Italy years ago. How do I know that? I went to school in France, had to take art history there, and we went to some museums, and a lot of the famous artists you see was actually using egg yolk because egg yolk is a protein. And if you notice how egg yolk is on a plate, it's hard to get off. If you let it dry, you add some other ingredients to it, you change the color, and you can make ink or paint. Side note. Okay, I'm having a lot of side notes. I'm having a lot of fun this morning. So we're gonna get started with this. So the way I separate this egg, okay, I take the egg, I'm gonna hit it on the side, I'm gonna crack it like this, take the top off, sit this here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my hand. I'm gonna let the yolk stay in my hand and separate my fingers slowly, and I'm gonna let this, if you can see this, it's actually, well, if it does this, it dropped off, okay? And you heard that splash. I'm gonna show you this in a second. So I have that there without getting the egg shell in there because I don't want the crunchiness in there of the egg shell. I just want the crunchiness of the almonds. I break the other one, crack the other one, I should say. I don't put my finger through it. There we go. Top off. Gets kind of messy. That's fine. You should watch. I did wash my hands before I got on here, so you guys like this dude didn't wash his hands. You didn't see that portion. My mom was constantly reminding me about having really good hygiene when you're in the kitchen. I always stress to people that wet towel, dry my hands up. Don't eat out of your pot when you're cooking. And when you do, I should say, just use a different spoon or whatever. Don't double back. That's nasty. Okay. Maybe see these egg yolks, so now they're together. Can you see them without me spilling them? I know Gino's like, damn, get the camera. Okay. So those over there, that's for later. So I have the egg yolks in here. It's gonna get a little loud. I hope you guys can hear me. So I'm gonna put this in here, and I have two. You got to have the right equipment. I say, yes, thank you. So this item here is how you whip the eggs. This is the paddle that mixes the mixture together. Okay. So we're gonna start this, and always make sure it's off. Do not put your fingers in here because the motor in here is so strong that you probably yank your hand out of your wrist. Kind of weird, kind of ugly, kind of sci-fi. Okay. So I put this in here, this attachment. Outside, turn it, push it down, lock it. Lock it because when you're using a lot of ingredients in a KitchenAid, the motor is real strong and it kick up and it makes a mess. So it's going to take about 3 to 5 minutes for that to happen. Can you guys still hear me? I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Okay. So I'm going to show you what these egg whites look like before we mix everything together. So this recipe calls for amaretto, and what I'm using is the Amaretto. Okay, there's a lot of different blends. This is not the highest quality, but I bought it because Amaretto's called in a lot. Amaretto's actually used in a lot of recipes, and this is gonna be my cooking one. I have another one that I'm gonna grab 1 second, which is a better flavor. And as you can tell, I made a lot of cocktails. This is another brand of Amaretto, higher quality. Price difference is a lot higher, and it does taste different. But for the sake of flavor, this is suffice. This is like $50 for this Amaretto, and this one I think is $18 or $20 with taxes out here on the West Coast. Yeah. So I'm gonna use almond flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys a little about that. And vanilla bean paste. The vanilla bean paste has more flavor than vanilla, so I use that for a greater enhanced flavor of vanilla. This is from my mom's kitchen. As I share with people who know me very closely, my mom has dementia, and so my dad started telling me to take things out of the kitchen that I want to use. So I'm not going to use all of this because I'll probably get sentimental and at the very end just save it and just use it for special occasions. But this is a special occasion. I wanted to talk about this to my mom today. Hey, mom, this is to you. So, okay. So the egg whites are done. Just that fast. Watch this. I might even walk around the side if I don't knock the light off so you guys see this. I can't go wrong with that. Thank you, Gina. Okay. So before I do that, there are a couple things that I have to add to this before. And alcohol, right? Also has alcohol, but it has water in it. If you add this before you add the dry ingredients, you might make a mess. Anybody. Why? Can't hear you. This is why. This is alcohol. Alcohol can be used as a chemical agent to cook ingredients. If you pour this in directly at the same time, the egg whites might start to solidify. A mess. Not good. You don't want to do this. So we're going to add this in at the very end. Okay. Thank you, Trina. This is my Leo spatula. She gave it for my birthday. I have all these fun gadgets. So what I'm going to do is once I get everything mixed together, I'll scrape the sides to make sure everything's blended very well. But we're going to go ahead and get all of these ingredients in here now. So this takes 2 teaspoons of almond extract. Always put your tops back on stuff so you don't knock it over and make a mess. Now this vanilla bean paste, I hope I can see this. I know Gina. I hear Gina in my ear right now. Damn it. Okay. This vanilla bean paste is going to be more like molasses. I'm gonna see. I don't want to make a mess. Let me see if I can move this here without doing this. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is see if I can pour it over so you guys can maybe see it. It's like a syrup. It's not the liquid like vanilla extract that you can buy. And I use this specifically because it has more of, like I said, enhanced flavor, especially for cookies and cakes. I like that effect. Okay, I got that. That's all I need. It's almost like a jelly, but it's a paste. Stop me making a mess. No, I didn't. I did it. Done. Scrape it off in there. Set this to the side. Where's my top? I'm always talking about don't knock things off. Put it to the side after I use it. So lock and load. Mix things up. Only for probably about 30 seconds or more. And I'm gonna open this up so you guys can see this. So let's take this off like this. Now, that's done there. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, those are the egg whites, and there are a lot of little black specks, which is vanilla chopped up, in the bean paste. You don't get the same effect from vanilla extract. So when you're actually using bean, you sometimes once in a while, if you get really good vanilla ice cream, they'll use bean paste and the vanilla ice cream to create a more enhanced vanilla flavor. Not bad, huh? So what I want to do is get the rest of this off of the spoon because waste not, want not, plus I want all my flavor enhancer in there. How to get better than that? Let's see. Now, the dry ingredients. Because it's salt, the half teaspoon of salt, if somebody just jumped on, thanks, Christine. Half a teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cups of sugar. I use raw sugar, more flavor because the molasses is still left in it. It's not totally bleached. And 3 cups of almond flour, which it looks more like sand than flour. Come on out there. So now we're gonna switch to the handy dandy paddle. We're using the whisk to whip the eggs. Make sure I got this on here tight. Put that down in here. And gently start off gently. So when I first started cooking, I didn't know what my mom meant by gently start the machine, because if you start on the high real quick, it pushes out all the dry ingredients. Not good look. You don't need that. So it's almost there. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. But remember, we have one more ingredient. Where did my spoon go? Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna take you guys every step along the way so you can see what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like clay. It's a little bit more moist. It's a lot more dense. Now, let's see. I hope I just hopped in. What are you making? Oh, I am making John Almond Dunkers. They're gluten-free cookies that's full of all this almond flavor, almond flour, amaretto, almond extract, vanilla bean. Almonds are going to go over the tops. I'm going to show you guys how I decorate the cookies at the very end. And my friend, one of my favorites. So, why do I like amaretto so much? When I was in Italy in 1983, I had the experience of having this thing called, I can't remember, it was orange juice pretty much and a little vodka and amaretto. It reminded me of like a dream, orange dream with we had vanilla in it and tangerine sherbet together. Dreamsicle, I think they called it. That's what it tastes like to me. And I was like, it's divine. Okay. So this goes into the very end. And I told you guys why, because now it won't cook because the almonds will absorb some of the alcohol. So I'm gonna put it calls for 2 tablespoons. I put 3. Lots of almond flavor. So put the top on tight. So if you knock it over in the process, it won't spill. Hope you don't break it. You don't want to break that. It doesn't want to be broken. So one more time, let it absorb up all of this wonderful amaretto. You guys, the flavor of the almond amaretto is like, oh, going through my mind. It's like pure heaven. That's it. Okay. So that's great enough. Okay. So what we're gonna do is unplug the machine. Especially if you have children, unplug it. Now there's no harm. It's unlocked. What we're gonna do, take our spatula, push that out. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys how you prepare these. So pull this up. It's a lot easier if I take this off. Okay. Gino, do you cook cookies or do you buy cookies? Christine, what about you? Do you cook or do you buy? I prefer cooking my own cookies because I can use greater ingredients unless I'm going to high end. But why pay like each one of these cookies at Whole Foods if you go buy them, these almond cookies, and they look like a crescent, are $4. $4. That's a lot for a cookie to me. And like I said, I'm gonna get all that up there. What am I doing? Now, don't want to lick that. I almost did. My mom would be like, Johnny, what are you doing? So this is what it looks like. Can you guys see that? That's the cookie dough. So what are you gonna do? Move this to the side. I don't need this out of the way. Tracy, hey Tracy. Yes, Tracy, buy usually, yeah. Like I don't eat Oreos. I don't eat pretty much store-bought cookies because I'm really big. I can't eat any more wheat, Tracy. Uh, Gino, he said I bake sometime. Uh, I'm gonna tell you guys, Gino and his grandmother could really cook. So I'm gonna say, well, I'm coming back to you about some other stuff. But one time, I think it was Sedalia, Missouri. I think Gino's grandmother lived in, and we went to school. Me and Gino met at Rockhurst University for woo Rockhurst. but Michelle and Marissa do. Okay, they bake. Okay, cool. But Gino's grandmother, we went there to visit like Friday was of some holiday. We decided not to go back to Chicago together, so we stayed and we went to his grandmother's house. And that was your grandmother, and she baked these biscuits and had, my God, baking. There was so much love. Like, we got up with bacon and some eggs. She had some homemade biscuits, some homemade jelly. I don't know if you remember that, Gina. We drove down. I hope you remember that. That was you. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, when you bake yourself, you actually are putting your energy in it. Now, here's another thing about consciousness. I always talk about why I talk about consciousness. Have you ever been someplace and you were in an environment and you start to feel weird? It's because I said this to a group of guys earlier this week. Your largest organ, if you didn't know, it's not in your body, it's around your body, is your skin. It perceives everything. Your body is like the skin perceives love, danger, incitement, joy, fear, which distracts you sometimes. But when you're in a kitchen or coming to somebody's house that's been in the kitchen and they have a lot of positive joy energy, you can feel it. You can especially taste it in their food. I really only go to high-end restaurants now because I sometimes feel that people aren't paid enough money. So when they're working, they're not really too joyful. And I don't want to participate in that. And my belly doesn't want to participate in that. Enough of that for me. Okay. So let me get my towel back here. So I need this in a second. So my wet towel to wash my hands, because this is one that's going to get a little stinky, guys. Okay. So because this is not as dry as normal cookie dough. So what I do, scrape this off of here for right now. I'm gonna use these 2 spoons. They're gonna be my handy dandy friends. I used my hands yesterday. Sedalia, 90 miles per case. Yeah, I remember that shit, man. And see, here's the other thing about when you hang out. Gino is my brother, man, from another mother. That's my boy. He always has my back. Uh, Known him forever. Connecting to people energetically is the greatest thing you can do. And I've lately started to watch how disconnected, even with this vaccine, all the things going on, how people are becoming separate. People are judging each other about you're stupid, you're not being kindful. And what about people just being no point of view about people's choices? And if you don't want to hang out with them, don't hang out with them. Let them know, hey, I'm really kind of concerned about this. I'm gonna break away from it right now without attacking somebody. And I say that because how many people are working now that are fearful, that really don't put love in their cooking right now because they're worried about so many different aspects of living that they're missing out. And it's going in the food. And you go to the restaurant, you taste it, you go, oh my God. So anyway, what we have here is 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get this cookie dough out. So I'm gonna take up the spoon. Okay. I need to invest in a cookie like a little, looks like a fruit piece. Okay. So what you're gonna do? I'm gonna use my hands. It's easier. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch off about a teaspoon of cookie dough. Right. I'm gonna roll it in this powdered sugar. Place it on parchment paper. Now it's gonna be really important that you use parchment paper because it's going to prevent the cookies from sticking when they bake. If you put them regular on a cookie sheet, it's going to be a mess getting them off because uh, these are like macaroons, so the sugar is really intense. You have powdered sugar on that. Let me show this. I'm not going to keep you guys all day. So I take this here, Kathy Palace. We will not be divided. Absolutely. Not anymore. Do not fall for the small Jedi. Oh man, I can taste the love or not love in the food. It's the main ingredient in my home. Yes. Oh my God. I was talking to my boy Derek before he came on here, and one of the things we were talking about is that my wife doesn't, because she makes this one great chicken dish. There she is. We have cookie scoop. We have a cookie scoop. I can't find it, babe. So we probably do with all the things in this kitchen. Uh, but maybe you can help me find it when you get home and you have one of these great cookies. even though she has some already, but because I tested, I want to make sure they're okay. So this is what it looks like. It looks like a powdered donut. We'll put that here, here. So I'm not gonna keep you guys. I want to rinse my hands real quick. So yeah, maybe my next kitchen will have a sink right next to it. I don't turn my back. Should the pan have edges? No. There's no need for that because we're gonna flat the cookies. So there's no butter. I don't know if you realize a lot of times you have cookies and there's butter, right? Or margarine. Don't ever use that. Lard, kind of hard for the heart, but has better flavor. You don't want to use margarine. I said it, yes, on my show. It's not a real oil. Uh, so you don't have to worry about edges because it's not going to spread out. It's not going to melt like that. But there is oil in it. Why? You say you didn't put any oil in it. Almonds have tons of oil. You can buy almond oil, very expensive. Here's the other piece. I'm gonna have to find a hack on this because one of my friends told me, which my friend, my naturopath told me, it takes like 3 gallons of water to create one almond. In California, that's becoming very devastating for the farming. Wasn't unaware of that unless we figure out some more ecological way of growing almonds. It's really kind of hard on the earth right now, but I believe we can do it. Today, I cooked my husband's breakfast with eggs from Gary and Dane's Ranch. Oh my God. Like that's why earlier I was talking about organic eggs. There is nothing like them. You can't beat it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this spoon and I'm gonna flatten these cookies. Now, on the back of this spoon is powdered sugar. Love watching this show of yours. Thank you, Kathy. And the reason I put the powdered sugar on there is that I don't want the dough to stick to the spoon. See how the sugar's on there? You see that? Can you see that? Here. So they're flattened like that. Okay. Now the artiste in me comes out. So what I do, I take some almonds and I sprinkle on top, probably about 4 or 5 on each cookie. And I press them down a little bit in the cookie because I don't want the edges to burn. If it's sticking up, guess what? It can burn. Okay. So that's what this looks like. Can you guys see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay. That's better. Okay. Set this to the side for right now. Cooking these cookies. 325, 25 to 30 minutes. You say, my God, that's a long time to cook a cookie. Remember, it's really dense. It's just nuts. Okay? It's just nuts. But that time depends on what type of cookie you want. Yesterday, I switched it to the second batch. I switched down to 23 minutes because this cookie, because it's a nut flour, it's going to have a tendency of drying out. Depending on every convection, that's right. Convection is different than direct heat. Convection probably can go down to 22 minutes because we took these cookies to a friend's house last night and Tori started bit into it. Oh my God, it's hard. It gets soft once you chew it because it's a nut flour. Okay. It's just nuts. You got it, Kathy. Yes. So convection, about 22 minutes. And what you can do is test. You cook one cookie at a time and figure out the best temperature. I mean, the best time for you. 25, 325. The original recipe said 25 to 30 minutes. I adjusted down to 23 minutes. Turn your oven on, let it bake. Put them in here. Ta-da! So quick, huh? And that's what the finished product looks like. Let me taste the one for you. Now, this was at 23 minutes last night. Yeah. So the edges are really crunchy. So I would even probably move it down to 21 minutes. But the middle is really soft. It's more like a macaroon. Oh my God. Fabulous flavor. Thank you guys for joining me. I love my own cooking. Soon I have some more guests on here. I guess I'm cooking in Kathy's kitchen when I get there next week, or is it next week? The week after next, 2 weeks, 2 series. I'll be at her house. Um, Maybe I'll drum something up, record something, put it out there so you guys can see me cooking. I've been cooking in Mexico, now New Mexico. Woo! How's it get better than that? So next week, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, show some grace, and tap into your knowing and stay in the question about what else is possible. Peace. Oh, subscribe. I forgot, subscribe. You can hear that crunch. Yes. Yeah. Subscribe. Please subscribe and have other people subscribe. I need more followers. We need to get to 5,000 in the beginning. I need a challenge. Tracy, I'm retiring soon and I'm going to do this full time. Just trying to get picked up by somebody. So please, 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 someone subscribe and have your friends subscribe. Let them see this. Until next week, love you. Peace.